Guys, good day to you all. Thank you so much for joining me here on my channel. Since yesterday, tongues have been wagging ever since pictures emerged of fubara visiting Tinubu. Now, I want to say this for someone who said in his 2 year celebration, what would have been the 2 years in office, who said, my mind is no longer there. I think he's doing way too much, you know, for someone who's made that kind of statement. We've seen, the effort being made, him going to beg in Nyesom Wike, has been reported in Nyesom Wike, also attested to it. And right now, him paying Tinubu visit in his hometown in Lagos State. So, before now, there's been a lot of people who have been in support of Tinubu, of fubara rather, due to the fact that what Nyesom Wike and Tinubu they are doing in River State is unconstitutional, undemocratic. But right now, some of the supporters are really expressing their disappointment. And one of such persons is Rufai. Another person is Isaac Fayoshe, which I'll be showing you what they said, recently after pictures emerged of fubara in Lagos with Tinubu. Make I not tell you, myself, I did highly disappointed. I knew quite already that he was going to go back to he's going to go to APC. But the one we pay me pass, now the one of going to beg the Nyesom Wike. So I'm going to show you this video and then we'll be back.
I pray for you today. Make enemy no change your destiny. There are some wicked people out there. They are destiny changers. They will change your destiny. Fubara, that was a governor 3 months ago. All he do now is to go and take picture, whether with president in London or take picture with president in Lagos or stand outside Aso Rock or stand outside Wike House. They don't change his destiny. He's now taking pictures with his enemy. What a weak man, Fubara. You are very weak. I regret even fighting for you. Very weak man, weakling. Now you are governor before. Now picture you they take now. They don't take your destiny. Governor pictures, destiny changers. May God save us from destiny changers. We go collect Friday. They can give you Saturday. Fubara, Fuboro.
Now our papa be this so we not get any other. Now our papa be this so. So Governor Fubara has gone to see his father, President Tinubu. He has no choice. Because in this game of politics, he's been brown-beaten. That will never, and I repeat, never, read my lips, mitigate the fact that we totally condemn a state of emergency by President Tinubu. And the cases are in court. We'd like to see the Supreme Court pronouncement on that. But the same Fubara that said all of a sudden the other day in a church service that his mind has left the place is going to visit President Tinubu. We are getting indication that things are getting better between them. For the first time in a long while, since all of this started, the tiff started, Wike is saying that he's my son. It's the people that are using him against me. Now, he's going to meet President Tinubu. Does this show you something that all politicians are the same? It's just about power. A lot of people thought that Fubara was going to stand his ground and say, what's the worst that will happen? You'll impeach me, but it will be on record. But it shows no, that Nigerian politicians are not that way. It's about what they can use and do with that power as at that point in time. But they forget that that power is transient. In the end, it will be standing for something. But like they argue in Nigeria, who's standing for something help? In a country where there's poverty, there's hunger, a lot is going on. But we must still build a society that has values, that where people will have to stand for something.
Governor Fubara, who seems to have shown a lot of penitence. He has shown that he's listening to the president. And I want to imagine that the reason he visited the president again is to remind the president that, please, he's now a good boy. He's not fighting anybody. He has even gone to beg Wike, the Lord and Master of River State politics. I think the president should just be magnanimous. The president should, having declared 6 months, state of emergency in River State, I imagine that part of their conversation will have been Sim Fubara asking the president, please, I'm a good boy, I would like this thing to be lifted.
Isaac Farishe, one of the troublesome men we have in Nigeria, he said Sim Fubara is a weakling, which a lot of people, perceive Sim to be. Now, it is not surprising to me that he went to see Tinubu. It is not even surprising to me, that he's going to move to APC. With or without the crisis, I just believe eventually he would want to align. He would want to move to the APC. Where I have problem is going to beg Nyesom Wike. Okay, let's say even if he wants to fight, his suspension because of the political nature of Nigeria and how corruption has eaten deep, he might not be able to win. So that's why he did not bother, making move at all on that. But how about, begging the Nyesom Wike? This is something you can easily find a way to have access to Tinubu. All you needed to do was, strike a deal. That's just it. You have your people at your back already. So even if you plead with them, say, oh, please, help vote Tinubu. A lot of them will still, because of you, go vote Tinubu. So you can still help the Tinubu in River State come 2027. Yes, after all, the PDP governors, they are already mad. Most of them. You can see the way they are busy endorsing Tinubu for 2027. Saying they are doing it for the citizens. You can see the way they are moving, working for Tinubu already. They don't even hide them. So he's not going to be the first, neither is he going to be the last. So where they pay me pass, we say, you're not even supposed to go begging Nyesom Wike. You beg and say what happened. Like, so what happened? You already stated clearly what the reason behind the feud is. Which a lot of your people are solidly behind you and they have attested to it. So you feel still go corner. Other statesmen, they will go follow you, go see the Tinubu, you strike a deal. I am not surprised at all. This battle between him and Nyesom Wike is one that he didn't even fight to a standstill. He didn't at all. Right now, as it is so, Shebi Nyesom Wike say that he's going to chair the campaign. He's going to lead the campaign for Tinubu in Rivers and the Federal Capital Territory. So Sim Fubara, even if they reinstate him now, go see stand as boy. And let me tell you, it's even going to be worse now. Because whatever it is these two individuals want, that is what they will get. He has no choice, or they will still use the same Matthew Amehule lawmakers to start, frustrating him. He has no choice. I understand where the frustration and all that is coming from. The whole mockery is coming from. I really do get it. And I must tell you that I feel also that a lot of River sons and daughters will be disappointed. Especially with the one of the begging in Nyesom Wike. A lot of them will be highly disappointed. They may not come out to express it openly, but indoors, a lot of them will express their disappointment. Honestly speaking, Sim Fubara no do this one well. And right now, I feel say he don't box himself. Yes, I feel he has boxed himself. He no fight to a standstill. So I know where Fayose, what's his name? Rufai and Abati is coming from. Anyway, let's hope and pray that they reinstate him. Make it not go be say they go turn around, constantly deal with him further. Let's hope he gets reinstated. Thank you so much for watching. Please do leave your opinion in the comment section. Now, on to other trends. The former boss, one-time boss of the EFCC, just recently released a book, which I don't laugh tire. Hey, God, I beg go. Okay, someone embezzled money, and then he was even arrested. got released recently, and he's writing a book about the corruption and all that that goes on in the petroleum industry, fuel subsidy corruption. Okay, so I don't love that when people react in different ways. I'm going to reading part of what one of the newspapers reported, and then I get to take a look at people's reaction before we come out to wrap this up. A former chairman of the Economic, Financial Crime Commission (EFCC), Abdul Rashid Bawa, has released a groundbreaking new book titled "The Shadow of Loot and Losses: Uncovering Nigeria's Petroleum Subsidy Fraud." The expose provides the most authoritative account of Nigeria's multi-trillion naira fuel subsidy scandal, unraveling the inner workings of one of the country's most pervasive financial crimes, according to a statement signed by Vic Akiro Gunde, drawing from his first-hand experience as a key investigator on the EFCC special team that probed the 2012 subsidy fraud. Bauer revealed the staggering scale, complexity, and authority of the schemes used to siphon public funds under the guise of fuel subsidy payments. His insider narrative chronicles how billions of naira were recovered and several corporates brought to justice, while also shedding light on how entrenched corruption allowed the fraud to flourish for years. And the book, published by Cable Books on imprint of Cable Media and Publishing Limited, Bauer detailed multiple fraudulent strategies, including ghost importing and over-invoicing companies, submitting claims for fuel that was never imported, or inflated shipment volumes to receive excessive subsidy payouts, manipulation of bills of lading by authoring shipping documents. Fraudsters exploited international price fluctuations to claim higher subsidies, round tripping and double claim single shipments were often used to obtain multiple subsidy payments. Diversion and smuggling and subsidized fuel was frequently diverted to black markets or smuggled out of Nigeria for profit. These practices, Bauer explained, were enabled by forged documents, weak regulatory oversight, and systemic collusion between corrupt government officials and private sector actors. The shadow of loot and losses is not just a chronicle of fraud, it is a call to action, a demand for transparency, accountability, and reform in Nigeria's public finance management, especially in the oil sector, Bauer said. So I'm going to end it here, but you can actually visit the Guardian papers, for further details or further reading on this. Now, I'm going to take a few social media reactions. Abalaka saying he wrote a book to support Tinubu's reform and pay his price not to be arrested again by the emperor. They play. Anybody gets soft copy? And I will have Contrarian saying, what did you do about it when you were the head of the agency? Nonsense. Chukun also saying, for a man accused of embezzlement to have written a book on the embezzlement by sinister agencies is quite interesting. Of course, only a Nigerian newspaper could promote the title. Dr. Drew saying, as EFCC chairman, how many of the oil subsidy fraudsters did Bauer put in jail? 0. Now he wants us to read a book on the fraud. Too many comedians in APC. Pablo says, now only Nigerian robbers they get my release book about robbery. Laugh emoji chai. And I have Oluwasegun saying they play. Someone with no integrity release their book. These people are just playing with us, acting drama and performing stage play. And then I also come and say, man who made him EFCC boss doubled as the president and Minister of Petroleum. Viswere obviously knew that his oga and his friends were all thieves, but he did nothing. He didn't resign. He sat there, collected salary, and looked away while his oga looted. I beg you should shut up. Hey, wonders they say shall never cease. Bauer, the fourth EFCC chairman, I think he was appointed in 2021. Yes, he was appointed in 2021, February 2021, and it was only removed, on allegations that borders on corruption, suspended by what's his name, Tinubu. I remember how he was arraigned. And then the EFCC, the current EFCC chairman, said they recovered a certain amount of money from him, which up to now, we never even know what they even use and do at all. Because you see, they see Nigeria, they borrow. And meanwhile, the EFCC, they say, we've recovered this from individuals. That aside. Now, he was even celebrated after he was released. This thing, he not even paid the price where he's supposed to pay. After, the discover say, this person was actually corrupt. He didn't pay enough of it. He was celebrated in his own town. They gave him a rousing welcome because that is exactly what we see in Nigeria here. Fools, non-entities, nincompoops being celebrated. And today, what is he doing? He's writing a book. You can imagine how a corrupt person is writing a book on corruption. Even though anyway, I'm going to take the message and leave the messenger. Right? Corruption, about corruption on sisters agency like yours. I will take the message and leave the messenger. But the whole thing is just funny. This is the irony of life. Like someone said, Nigeria must be a comic channel in heaven that anytime Baba God wants to rest and feel entertained, he just switch over to Nigeria. Because where would they hear this kind of thing? Like, where is it even heard of? You that embezzled so much that should still be rotting in jail. We suppose see serious arraignment of you everywhere in court. Then at least they cool yourself 100 years in prison. In some nations, now straight up death by hanging. In some other countries, serious amputation. But here, what do? We celebrate. You are writing book. Soon, you'll still see people gather for the book launch, even donating money. It is good that he's coming out, whether it's out of concern for Nigeria or him trying to pave a which I know someday somebody like this will come out to run for House of Rep or something, and people will foolishly go and vote for individual like this. It is good he's exposing the kind of corruption that is happening. Me, self, I won't even see that book because I want to see, even though we have been hearing of subsidy scam, a lot of corruption ongoing there. Peter Obi, how many times he don't talk about the corruption, behind this subsidy, corruption in the oil sector? He has said it over and over again. But let's hear his own. I would even love to see that kind of book and read. But what I talk, he say, in the bathroom, he say, person where they corrupt, they write book on corruption. It's just like Tinubu that is highly, highly corrupt. Or even the Atiku Abubakar, highly, highly corrupt. Telling me that they are coming to fight corruption. The thing, they're very funny. It's very funny. You have been known, accused of embezzlement. Now, you will not come and be talking about how you want to stop people looting. The thing is very, very funny to me. Nigeria, we must be the 10th wonder. The kind of thing that comes out from our political elites is very, very funny. Very funny. In fact, somebody said we don't even have political elites in Nigeria. Someone said so.
Nigeria does not have elites. What we have are a bunch of loud people with money. You can tell by the way they move around those who are slightly richer or more influential than them. They can never stand for something. Take this one, for instance. How many more millions does he need? How many more companies does he need? On Twitter, he still moves like a teenager, like somebody who is desperate for favor from someone. Look at this one, for instance. For the past 5 years or 10, you cannot tell where he stands. You can't. He has jumped from this to this to this to this, always swallowing his vomit as supposed elite. That is not an elite move. Look at this one, for instance. All he does is grovel around these powerful people and people who are richer. That is not an elite move. And this is what they call networking. They say you have to network. Your network is your net worth. This is what they call networking. But this isn't networking. This is sycophancy. This is ass licking. And when you don't move like them, they'll consider you rude. Because they don't even know the difference between politeness and being rude. If you stand your ground and outspoken, they would think you're rude. All that money, as far as I know, like the too much money you claim to have is supposed to give you freedom. I be no be freedom that they make this money for. But you'll be a billionaire. You cannot say your mind. That is not an elite behavior. We don't have elites. We don't. Those of you who live abroad can bear me witness. That is not how the elites move. Even when it comes to where they decide to live, where they decide to reside, proper elites will get away from all the noise and go and build somewhere. But our own elite, the heart of town, where the hustling and bustling people stay, with all the noise and commotion, that is where they will go and buy land and build house. Elite. Even when it comes to their taste in fashion and lifestyle, everything screams loud, noise, see me.
Judging by what we are seeing, I can't help but agree that we don't even have political elites. In fact, we don't even have elites. Let me go by the way he said it. These ones who they call political elites, there's nothing they elite about these ones. From the Aerofayo to the Atiko, we could begin the mention to the Ababio. The list goes on. Now, just very few will see pick as political elites. You see the rest, forget those people. There's nothing elite about them, like what this young man said. These are just criminals. Criminals. People with the loot, we never even they tired. Like I said, I will not be shocked if Bauer run for a position tomorrow and they will vote for him. Even governorship, they will still vote for him. Very soon, you will see this one will be rewarded with a compensation. The next thing, you go join EFCC, you go join APC. Sins will be forgiven. And then, from there, political career will start. They will get voice again. Now, no entities, now then they get voice for Nigeria here. It's a shame. Shame. Shame they even catch me on behalf of individuals. Very shameless set of humans. Thank you so much for watching. Kindly do leave your opinion in the comment section. Subscribe to my channel if you haven't done so. Click on the notification bell the moment you subscribe. That's where you get to know as soon as I upload video. Thank you so much, guys, for the immense love, the immense support. I'm super grateful. God bless you richly. Do enjoy the rest of your Thursday and see you guys in more other videos.